Welcome students to our new YouTube channel PharmaX Tech, the division of excellence. So let's start to the chapter relating to the blood, which is anticoagulants. That means the drugs affecting the coagulation and also the bleeding time and thrombosis. So let's start to this topic, anticoagulant agents. So in that the blood is a liquid connective tissue which provides one of the means of communication between the cells of the different parts of the body and the external environment. That means this blood, it carries the oxygen, carbon dioxide, hormones, clotting factors and protective substances, that means antibodies. So the next we see the blood clotting factors and clotting events. So the blood clotting factor 1 is a fibrinogen, clotting factor 2 is a prothrombin, clotting factor 3 is a tissue factor thromboplastin, clotting factor 4 is a calcium, and clotting factor 5 is a labile factor proacceleratin, accelerating globulin, and clotting factor 7 is a stable factor proconvertin. Clotting factor 8 is a antihemophilic globulin, also antihemophilic factor A, and clotting factor 9 is a Christmas factor and also plasma thromboplastin component and antihemophilic factor B, and clotting factor 10 is a Stewart Prover factor. Clotting factor 11 is a plasma thromboplastin antecedent antihemophilic factor C, and clotting factor 12 is a Hagman's factor, and clotting factor 13 is a fibrin stabilizing factor. So these are the clotting factors and clotting events. And also the vitamin K is essential for the synthesis of factor 2, factor 7 and factor 9 and 10. Let's see the some functions of vitamin K. So this vitamin K, it is used in the synthesis of clotting factor 2, 7, 9 and 10, and it makes the carboxylation of these, which is essential for the ability of calcium and to get the bound to the phospholipid surface, and this further formation of cascade of coagulations. And next we see some deficiencies of vitamin K. The deficiency of vitamin K, it is due to liver disease, obstructive jaundice, malabsorption, long-term antimicrobial therapy, that means tetracyclines and lactams, etc. Next we see the some local hemostatics. So these local hemostatics is also known as synaptics. So in the local hemostatics, they are the substances used to stop the bleeding from a local approachable sites, that means tooth pockets, open wounds, etc. And also local hemostatics, they are thrombin, fibrin, Russell's viper venom, and vasoconstriction. It is 1% adrenaline and astringents used in local hemostatics. The astringent is tannic acid. So the next we see the some anticoagulating factor agents. So in the anticoagulating agents, these anticoagulating agents, it prevents the blood clotting in vitro or by in vivo or by both in vivo or in vitro, and it is used in vitro. The organic acids used in vitro is heparin. So organic acid, it is used in vitro is heparin, and organic acid salt, it is EDTA, sodium citrate, sodium oxalate, and it is also used in vivo. So anticoagulating agents, they prevents the blood clotting by in vivo or in vitro, and or by both of the mechanism in vivo or in vitro. And in vitro organic acid heparin is used, and organic acid salts EDTA, sodium citrate, sodium oxalate, it is used. So next we see the heparin. So in the heparinoids, the heparinoids like heparan sulfate, Danaproid, Lipirudin and Ancod. They are the heparins. Heparinoids like heparin sulfate, Danaproid, Lipirudin and Ancod. And oral and oral anticoagulants like coumarins, warfarin, acnocumarol. So and also indendione and phenendione. So the oral anticoagulants, they are coumarins like warfarin, acnecumarol, indendione and phenendione. So these are the oral anticoagulants. So next we see the some features of heparin and warfarin. So first we see the some information about heparin. So the chemical nature of heparin is sulfated polysaccharide of D-glucosamine, D-glucuronic acid, and the nature of heparin is it is electronegative in nature. And the kinetics involved in heparin, it is given by parental route of administration, that means by intravenous route of administration, and also by subcutaneous route of administration, and also they are given by hepatic and reticuloendothelial elimination. And half-life of heparin is only 2 hours, and there is no placental access and cross the blood-brain barriers. So the kinetics involved in heparin, it is given by parenterally route of administration, by intravenous or subcutaneous, and also by hepatic and reticuloendothelial elimination. And half-life is 2 hours, and there is no placental access and they cross the blood-brain barriers. So next we see the mechanism involved in heparin. It increases the activity of antithrombin 3, and this may resulting in the inactivation of factor 2A and 10A. And the mechanism of action in heparin is the action seen by both in vivo or and in vitro. And next we see the antagonists, which is antagonist of heparin. The antagonist of heparin is protamine sulfate. So there is the question in GPAT, which is the antagonist of heparin, and the right answer is protamine sulfate. So this question asked in GPAT too much times. So antagonist of heparin is protamine sulfate. So next is uses of heparin. So heparin is used in rapid anticoagulation, that means intensive for thrombosis, emboli, unstable angina, disseminated intravascular coagulation, open heart surgery, etc. And also the heparin is a drug of choice during the pregnancy. So there is a question in GPAT also, the drug of choice during pregnancy, and the right answer is heparin. So next we see the most important adverse effects of heparin. Adverse effects of heparin: bleeding, osteoporosis, heparin induced thrombocytopenia and hypersensitivity. These are the adverse effects of heparin. They are bleeding, osteoporosis, heparin induced thrombocytopenia and hypersensitivity. So next we see the detailed about warfarin. So the warfarin, the chemical nature of warfarin is a coumarin derivative. So the warfarin is a coumarin derivative, and the kinetics involved in warfarin, this warfarin is given orally and 98% protein bound, and the liver metabolisms, and the half-life of warfarin is 30 plus hours, and there is access of placentals in humans. So it access the placentals. And next we see the mechanism of warfarin. The mechanism involved in warfarin. So this warfarin decreases the plasma level of potassium dependent factors like factor 2, 7, 9, 10 active forms, and it forms the coumarin. Coumarin prevents the generation of active hydroquinones, and it forms of vitamin K and gamma carboxylation, and these produces it is incapable binding with calcium, and it blocks the further cascade of clotting. by in vivo effect only. And next we see the antagonist of warfarin, which is vitamin K. So most time there is a question in GPAT, who is the which is the antagonist of warfarin, and the right answer is vitamin K. And the mechanism involved in warfarin, which is it decreases the plasma level of potassium dependent factors like factor 2, 7, 9 and 10 active forms, and it forms the coumarin, prevent generation of active hydroquinone forms of vitamin K and gamma carboxylation, and it is incapable binding with calcium, and it blocks the further cascade of clotting by in vivo effect only. Next we see the some uses of warfarin. So the warfarin, it is used in the longer term anticoagulation controlled for thrombosis, embolt, and in post myocardial infarction, and also in heart wall damage, and also it is used in atrial arrhythmias, etc. So the uses of warfarin, it is used in longer term anticoagulation in controlled type and for thrombosis, embolt, post myocardial infarction, heart wall damage and atrial arrhythmias, etc. So next we see some adverse effects of warfarin. The adverse effects include in warfarin like alopecia, dermatitis, diarrhea, and teratogenic effects like bone dysmorphogenesis. So the teratogenic effect like bone dysmorphogenesis, and also acne cumarole, oral ulceration, and also gastrointestinal disturbances, and also dermatitis and alopecia. They are the common adverse effects of the warfarin. So next we see the some aspirin. So the aspirin is also known as salicylates. Aspirin is salicylates. It displaces the warfarin from its protein binding site, and also this aspirin gives the antiplatelet action, and this may include the toxicity of warfarin, or this causes the hazardous bleeding. Next is oral contraceptives. So these oral contraceptives reduces the effect of warfarin by enhancing the blood level of the clotting factors. And next we see the danaparoid. So this danaparoid is also known as heparin sulfate. So this danaparoid, that means heparin sulfate, it is a heparin of different structures, and it may be safer in hypersensitivity to the heparin. So the heparin sulfate, it is a type of heparin of different structures, and it is safer in hypersensitivity like reactions to the heparin. Next is phenydione. So this phenydione, it is used as an oral anticoagulant. So phenydione, it is a oral anticoagulant, and this phenydione, it produces the serious toxic effects. That means toxic effects like rashes, fever, hepatitis, neuropathy, agranulocytosis, orange urine. These are the toxic adverse effects of phenydione. They are rashes, fever, hepatitis, neuropathy, agranulocytosis, orange and orange urine. And the low molecular weight of heparins, that means enoxaparin, and they have a potential advantages of longer half-life and less thrombocytopenia, and they possibly enhance activity against the factor 10A. And next we see the last is direct thrombin inhibitors. So the direct thrombin inhibitors, they are hirudin and bivalirudin. So hirudin and bivalirudin, these are the direct thrombin inhibitors, hirudin and bivalirudin. So these hirudin and bivalirudin, these are the bivalents of DTIs, direct thrombin inhibitors. So these hirudin and bivalirudin, they are the bivalent of direct thrombin inhibitors that binds at both the catalytic or the active site of thrombins, and as well as it acts as a substrate recognition site, and it prevents the formation of fibrin and clotting of blood. So these hirudin and bivalirudin, they are the bivalent of direct thrombin inhibitors. Bivalent means they act both side, and that bind at both the catalytic or active site. Bivalent means they act both the side, that means they act and that means they bind by both catalytic or active site of thrombin as well as at a they act as a substrate recognition site, and it prevents the formation of fibrin and clotting factor. So there is a question in GPAT, who prevents the formation of fibrin and clotting factor of blood, and the right answer is hirudin and bilirubin. So the last one is argatroban. So this argatroban is a small molecule of thrombin inhibitor that is FDA approved for use in patients with heparin induced thrombocytopenia with or without thrombosis and coronary angioplasty in patients with heparin induced thrombocytopenia. So this is most important for remember that the argatroban. So this argatroban is a small molecule of thrombin inhibitor and that is FDA approved, and this argatroban which is used in patients with heparin induced thrombocytopenia with or without thrombosis, and in also they are used in coronary angioplasty in patients with heparin induced thrombocytopenia. So here is the end of this part 1 of anticoagulant agents. So in the next part we see the some most important factors and their mechanisms of actions and most important role of anticoagulant agents in the part 2. So stay connected with Pharma Tech. Thank you for watching this video and please like, share and subscribe to our channel Pharma Tech, the division of excellence. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for watching this. Thank you. Welcome students to our new YouTube channel Pharma Tech, the division of excellence. So let's start to the chapter relating to the blood.